What's up, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard with the Gaming Brigade, back with another Division 2 video, and today, my friends, it's all about the reanimated global event that started today. I've been getting some messages over the last few days asking me to put together a video showing you some of the best ways to farm for XP during the event and earn those stars, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. Now, if you happen to be new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Secondly, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. We would love for you to be a part of what we're doing, and if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, please do me a favor and hit that like button. It really does help us out. One thing I want to make sure I mention as we start off is that this video is truly geared towards new players, beginners, people who are just, jumping back into the game. Maybe you haven't done this reanimated event before. Maybe you're a solo player trying to, figure it out for the first time. So if you are a vet, I promise you these are things you already know. The first thing I want to mention is the fact that you need to turn the global event on in order to earn the stars. Now you can see here on this page it says X to activate. I'm going to turn it on. Now keep in mind you can turn this off anytime you want. However, to earn the currency, which are the stars, which is what you want to gain when you're doing this, you have to manually turn it on. You can see here that you have multiple ways to earn stars in this game. You have the daily challenges, which by the way you can go back and complete if you miss them along the way. It's not just for the first 4 days. You can go back and you can see, it's from killing reanimated enemies, doing stuff like that. However, and some people forget this sometime, is when the event is actually active, you can also gain a star for every shade level you gain, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. This is the regular reward track for the event. You can see you can get some good stuff, but in my opinion, earning a ton of stars is definitely the way to go. And the reason for that is simple. With those stars, you can then go to the global event vendor and buy named caches, exotic caches, recalibration caches, whatever it is you may be looking for. And once again, to remind you, my friends, there are Dark Zone exclusive items in those named caches, so it is a great way to try to get a DZ exclusive without actually having to go into the Dark Zone. You can also get those Dark Zone exclusive items from legacy caches as well. They're a little bit more expensive, but we will get into that towards the end of the video. Right now, I'd like to get into the farming method itself, and for me, it's all about time management, so the one thing I'm going to be showing you today is my favorite ways to farm territory controls. And once again, I want to remind you as we get into the gameplay, this is for new and returning players, solo players. Look, if you're someone who can get through a heroic mission with 5 directives in under 6 minutes, this is not the video for you. Again, this is for people who are just starting off. With that being said, I want to go over a few details about hitting up territory controls. First of all, they are all across the map. You want to find one that you're familiar with and you learn the timing of the NPC, because with this event, again, as soon as you take out an NPC, there's a chance they will pop back up. Now, because of this event, and I usually run with this shotgun anyway, I'm using a shotgun because you can see the difference between with that headshot, you saw that huge cloud of smoke. You saw the other NPC just went down. Once he comes back up, you shoot him again, then he's down for good. But again, you can take out these NPCs with a headshot and they will not reanimate. And as you can see, it's very clear when it actually happens. The other thing is that the cloud that they, when they explode, it's actually a healing cloud. It also gives you some sort of a bonus as well. So again, it will not do your character any damage. It is something you can run through, no problem whatsoever. Now, the main reason I recommend going to a territory control that is once again, you can get through this in under 2 minutes as long as you know the timing of the NPC. Keep aware of any that you did not take out the first time with the headshot. You can see here, I got to take this guy out. Boom, there's a headshot there. Pick up a key, and then I'm good to go. Now, from the moment I got to this area and started interacting with the NPC, it took me about 90 seconds to clear the thing. Now, I am doing this on challenging with 3 directives. You may be able to do it on a higher difficulty. You may want 1 directive, 2, 0. It doesn't really matter, but I wanted to give you a baseline. And as you can see here, in those 90 seconds, I was able to earn over 200,000 XP. And I know the screen says 194,000 XP, but when you take out the NPCs, you're obviously getting XP for that as well. And one question I want to address, as a lot of you ask, is you only get XP for killing the NPC once. If they go down, then come back up, you are not getting double XP for that. Moving on to another territory control I like hitting up. This one is located in the East Mall, and the reason why I'm highlighting these 2, or there may be a third one as well, is strictly because it's in a small confined space. So if you do miss that initial headshot, you don't have to worry about being flanked by too many angles, and you should be able to get through it pretty quick. This, my friends, once again goes back to the importance of having certain areas in the game that you're proficient at, that you can farm at pretty quickly, because it will really help you earn those stars. And again, the more stars you have, the more caches you can buy, and hopefully you'll finally find some gear that you've been looking for a long time. There happen to be a few other reasons why I strongly recommend doing this, and that's because, we've already talked about the time management thing. You can get through it pretty quick, but what's great about these territory controls is when you reset your control points, these should pop up in the exact same spot on the map, so that way you can hit them up over and over again. And for players who maybe, let's say you don't have a long time to play, you want to be really efficient with your time, this is a great way to earn that XP really fast. Now, I want to do a comparison with missions as well, because I know for a lot of people out there, obviously you're going to get more XP when you run missions, but you want to think, how long does that mission actually take? So to give you a quick example, like I said, when I do these 3 territory controls on challenging with 3 directives, I'm getting about 200,000 XP on each attempt, which means in about 5-6 minutes of time, I'm earning over 600,000 XP. And compare that to running a heroic mission. Let's say if you can get through it fast. Let's see if you can get through it in 8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, whatever it is. And I know people can get through it faster. I usually get through, let's say, Lincoln Memorial in about 8 minutes. If I compare the time in which it takes to have me do, 3 territory controls and 1 heroic mission, these 3 territory controls I'm getting done in probably close to half the time and getting just as much XP as I would on that heroic mission. And as we move on, I want to remind you, the sole purpose of this is an XP farm. It is not about the quality of loot you're getting when you're doing this, because obviously, you want to farm on heroic more than challenging because you're going to get better loot. But when it comes to farming XP, if you can get more XP on a lower difficulty in a shorter amount of time, that's what you want to do. There also happen to be so many different ways you can earn XP in the open world in this game. You can do control points, which again, if you can get through in under 5 minutes, that is the way to go. You also have elite patrols like this. It's going to give you more XP as well once you clear them. However, these are on a timer, so again, I think it's about every 30 minutes, but these are another great way to really earn XP really fast. Finally, my friends, as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to highlight some of the ways you can spend those stars and my favorite ways to do so. Now, in order to spend them, you go to the global event vendor, who can be found either at the White House or in Haven. You can see here's a breakdown of the cost, and for me, I typically focus in on those named caches. That is because I'm not the biggest fan about going into the Dark Zone, and I want to be able to get those Dark Zone exclusive items. And as I said a moment ago, you can get those out of the legacy caches as well. Like I said, those are a little bit more expensive, and one thing I want to make sure I mention is, and again, I may get lucky on these rolls, there's a DZ exclusive right there. Unfortunately, there's no guarantee on what you're going to get from these items, or from these caches. It may be a DZ exclusive, it may be something in the open world. So again, the goal is farm as much as you can, earn those stars, and buy as many of these caches as you can. I got to tell you, looking at the ones I'm opening now, this has never happened before where I've gotten so many Dark Zone exclusive items in succession. But again, my friends, do the farming. And as always, let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. And more importantly, you guys know at the channel, my main goal is to try to help people out in any way I can. So if you have any tips or tricks you want to pass along to new and returning players, please let me know in the comment section down below. With all that being said, my friends, I'm going to start to wrap this up. And again, one of the reasons why I enjoy hitting these spots up in this specific global event is because you're hitting up those enemies in a small confined space. Once you learn the timing, you can get through it pretty quick. You're not having to worry about, the enemies popping back up. And if they do, there are such a small amount of NPCs, you can usually just fix the problem and keep on going. As always, I'd like to take a moment and thank you all for your continued support of this channel, and remind you, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. We would love for you to be a part of what we're doing. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit that like button, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.